Hello, this is Justin7. I wanted to talk about a dispute with Canbet, a very disturbing dispute, and there are two things about it. First, what was done by Canbet, and equally disturbing was the complete lack of intelligence on the part of IBAS in their ruling on this dispute. Initially, the player placed a bunch of parlays at Canbet. Canbet called these correlated parlays. Now, a correlated parlay in, for example, college football would be to take an underdog at plus 20 and take under 40. And what happens is, if the first bet wins, the second one is more likely to win if it's in the same game. A lot of books take some kinds of correlated parlays, others don't take them at all. There's two things that you normally do to address this. You have your software not allow it, if you're worried about it, and you include rules to address it. In this case, Canbet had a rule that was exactly on point. It said, any multiple, that is a parlay, made up of more than one selection from the same event will be deemed a related contingency, i.e. Alan Shearer to score first and Newcastle United to win, Denver minus 7.5 points and Denver to win the game. The only exception to the above is in North American sports, where sides and totals can make up a multiple bet. Canbet has a rule exactly on point saying, in North American sports, you can bet on a side and total. In this case, the player made 27 parlay bets that had a side and total, which is specifically allowed by this rule. He won. Canbet canceled his winnings of $19,000. Just unbelievable. Bookmaker takes correlated parlays occasionally. Olympic takes correlated parlays occasionally. BetPop has taken them. I've seen tons of books take them. Yeah, they don't always mean to, but sometimes they slip up. And the general rule of thumb is if a player is able to bet it with your software, you honor the bet. I mean, it's not a sure thing. Now, it would be different if you were betting, for example, the Yankees to win their divisional series and the Yankees to win the World Series. In that case, if they won the World Series, there's a 100% correlation. Because if they won the World Series, they already won the divisional series. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about a side and a total, and which Canbet has already considered and said is allowed. So Canbet cancels all these, refuses to pay the player, so basically steals his money, and then the player is left with going to IBAS. Well, IBAS looked at this dispute, and you can see their entire ruling here, but the important parts of it, in the third paragraph, they say, it is the backer's responsibility to read and understand those rules and to ensure their bet conforms to them. They later say, the panel agrees that it is extremely regrettable that Canbet allowed the bets to be taken, but that error is covered by their rules, and the panel therefore adjudicates in favor of Canbet. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I don't get it. Yes, it's covered by the rules. It says the bet's fair. It says you owe the player. So why are you ruling in favor of Canbet? And if you look at this ruling, you'll notice there's no name on it. No one from IBS is taking credit for it. They don't even cite the rule they're supporting because there's no rule on point. It's just, I mean, it's a complete farce. IBS has become completely useless. They're now just a tool of the sportsbook to rubber stamp any bad decision. And this causes a problem. The consequence of this is that any book that's regulated by the IBAS, that is anyone licensed in England, you can't count on any governmental agency to help you out if the book takes a shot at you, as was done here. That's all for this week. If you have any questions, send me an email, justin@sportsbookreview.com.